Most young women today are not focused on finding a good man who will treat them right, a high-value guy who has his life together, who is on his path and purpose, who is a leader of men that other guys respect. No. They're basically looking for a toxic man who will take them out to eat, slap her behind, and treat her like a piece of meat before moving on to the next guy who will do the same thing. Unfortunately, these girls will one day wake up, and it's usually around the age of 30 when she has that epiphany and goes, "Oh my goodness, I'm 30. What have I accomplished?" These bad boys were the bearded men who slapped me behind, treated me like meat, and then disappeared. I want my forever man now, a man who has a job and isn't fired every week. I'm looking for a man who will be there for me, who will cry with me, on whom I can lean. She'll start talking like a more reasonable person, and she'll grow up, and she'll learn. I understand that we are all young and inexperienced. However, when it comes to women, they only had a limited amount of time to complete the task and secure that high-value guy before it's too late. Don't mess around, girl. Try to find that high-value guy as soon as possible, so you can have a little bit of time, because if you don't, you'll be out there in the world in your 30s, 40s, and 50s still single, still trying to lock down that high-value guy. You can't get those alpha chads to come along, and you can't get the bearded man to come along. By the way, you're thinking, "Oh, I just want a guy to take me out to get my free meal." It's like you might find some who will do that, but they'll take full advantage of it. It's better if you don't try to use people for free meals, and instead just try to be a good person. Because if you're a good person, guess what? You'll meet other good people and you won't be running around looking for the bearded chad. When you reach the age of 30, those high-value men no longer want you. If they can get 22-year-olds, why would they settle for 32-year-olds? There's no reason, but it's unfortunate because many young women these days have been brainwashed to believe that they have an infinite amount of time to play the field, ride the carousel, pursue their corporate career, or do whatever they want, and there will be no consequences. And I think that is probably the biggest drawback with what's going on with the narrative for young women. Today is like, oh, let's empower them, make them feel strong and invincible, which sounds great on paper, but you're not invincible. In reality, you're going to lose your power, and you're not going to have access to the same types of guys you do now. Some comedians have discussed it and made jokes about it. I believe Chris Rock made a joke about it as well, saying, "You know what really bugs you guys is that you look at your girl, and you know you weren't her first choice. And I'm trying to help these girls avoid that so they don't end up damaged in their 30s and 40s, still partying, being the old lady at the club, the cougar. You don't want to be that, these girls in their 40s and 50s still out partying. Did you ever think when you were 21 that you'd still be here at the club at 51? She'd be like, "I thought I'd be married by now. I thought I'd have kids by now." And then they'd say something like, "Well, the right man didn't come along." Who were you kidding? The right man came along 24/7 nonstop like a stream of water from the time you were 13 to the time you were 29. You just never pulled the trigger because you wanted to keep having fun, to keep playing the field, and you didn't because you thought it would never end. Society encourages it, and it's really sad, because one day she'll wake up to the realization that she's been lied to, that feminism lied to her, that the mainstream lied to her, and she'll be angry. Don't forget to hit the like button to help spread the word about this video. Thank you for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember that a red pill a day keeps bad poker hands away. So have a good rest of your day and cheers.